Guys, what's up? Teddy Macedo, aka bearRimshot here, speaking today, and I'm gonna talk to you guys about my experiences at New York Comic Con. Not only am I gonna share about my experiences that happened at New York Comic Con this year, but also last year as well. So, now, time to start off with my experiences at New York Comic Con last year. Um, on on Friday, I did participate in um in this Rotten Tomatoes thing, critics versus audiences war, which I gotta say it's really funny to see people backlashing based on different opinions. Now, just kidding. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. So, anyways, yeah, now time to talk about what happened on Sunday last year. On Sunday last year, get to see, I did get to see once again Joe Dunn. Now, in case if you guys have watched my New York Comic Con video, which I've done at Sparking TV last year, I I pronounced his name Joe Bin. If you guys think that his name is, you know the author of the book Joe Loves Crappy Movies? Now, if you thought that his name is actually Joe Bin, his name is actually pronounced Joe Dunn, actually. So, anyways, when I met Joe Dunn last year, I did suggest him to do a Joe Loves Crappy Movies comic based on Return to Neverland. And yet, though, he did say this, that he would try to do his best whenever he can. Though I did speak with Joe I did speak with Joe this year about, did check in with Joe Dunn this year about whether or not he did the comic for me, but he said he didn't. Though he did tell me earlier today that he'll make sure that he would do it. So, anyways, another thing that also happened to me last year would be, of course, I met a voice actor by the name of Tom Kenny. Now, for those who don't know who Tom Kenny is, excuse me, anyways, Tom Kenny is basically a voice actor for whom you guys may have known him more as the voice of SpongeBob. He was also the voice of Gary, and he's also the current voice of Rabbit from Winnie the Pooh. And fun fact, Tom Kenny is also one of the recurring voice actors of the newer Scooby-Doo cartoons, alongside Mark Hamill, Jeff Bennett, and Kevin Michael Richardson. So, anyways, now time to talk about what happened this year at Comic Con. Well, on Thursday, I did get to play the arcade game Star Wars Battle Pod. And I did speak to the people who made the game about how that they should do a sequel to this game that would feature not just battles as seen in the original trilogy, but also in the prequel trilogy as well. As like the originals, the prequels does have a lot of great battles to offer. Now, I guess I could say this: if Disney dared do a sequel to Star Wars Battle Pod, here's how I think it should be. Well, they would have to keep all the battles from the original trilogy, right? Not only that, but also add some space battles as seen in the prequels. And here are some of the ones that I think would be appropriate for as if Disney dared do a sequel to the game Star Wars Battle Pod. The first one being, of course, the pod racing contest as set in Tatooine. Now, that would definitely be a perfect fit for a Star Wars Battle Pod sequel. And then there's also the dogfight over Naboo. Now, you know the scene where we see Anakin Skywalker fly from Naboo all the way up in space, right, to destroy a separatist cruiser. Yeah. So, anyways, and then there's also the chase in Coruscant, where you would have to chase Zam Wesell. And then, of course, there's the dogfight over Geonosis. that would also be appropriate for Star Wars Battle Pod 2. And then, of course, there's Space Over Coruscant from Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. That's definitely gotta be in it as well. And then there's Maul's Revenge, Dooku's Revenge, and Grievous's Revenge, which would have been like Vader's Revenge, only this time set during the prequels. So anyways, and also, yeah, well, when I went to Comic-Con this year, I did a lot of advocating, actually, I have to admit. So anyways, I also met two animators, Phil Ortiz and, what's his name? Alright, so anyways, alright, and Tim Cook. Right, so, for those who don't know who Phil Ortiz is, he basically worked on The Simpsons. And I've told him about of how that for The Simpsons that they should do a Hanukkah episode for The Simpsons as well as a Star Wars parody episode of it as well. However, Phil Ortiz did tell me this, that Family Guy already beat The Simpsons up to it into making a Star Wars parody episode. And I think as if The Simpsons did do a Star Wars parody episode, I think they would have done as great as what Family Guy has also done, as well as Robot Chicken, as well as Phineas and Ferb in that case. So anyways, I also, did speak with the people at Square Enix today regarding to all the concerns that I have admittingly had regarding to Kingdom Hearts 3, which I will say, there's people that I've been so excited about. So, I did advocate to her about all the things that I would love to see appear in Kingdom Hearts one day. I did tell Square Enix that they should use Jane from Return to Neverland. Now, whether you guys believe it or not, ever since when I first heard about Kingdom Hearts, all thanks to Internet Movie Database, that is, I always wanted to be able to see Jane appear in at least one Kingdom Hearts game. Now, when I say Jane, I'm talking about Wendy's daughter from Return to Neverland, and not Tarzan's love interest from Tarzan, in that case. So anyways, I also did suggest Square Enix that they should put in both Stromboli and Coachman from Pinocchio. And then I did tell them about how that they should have that if they're gonna add in Star Wars into Kingdom Hearts, they should begin with the prequels, because in the words of VG Retro, you've always got to start with the beginning. Look, I know what you're all thinking, the Star Wars prequels suck. But in spite of that, even if there are some bad things about it, there can be some good things as well. Now, for those who totally do dislike the Star Wars prequels watching this, I highly recommend you all go check out Belated Media's video on how the Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, could have been better. The link to it is down in the description below. So anyways, and then there's also, I also suggested them that for Marvel and Kingdom Hearts, not only should they use the Avengers, but also X-Men, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and Guardians of the Galaxy. And I also did suggest them to include some Disney TV characters, as well as some Pixar as well. Though, fun fact, both Woody and Buzz Lightyear were both supposed to appear in Kingdom Hearts 2, but then for some reason they both got omitted for some reason. And also, I also suggested Square Enix to also be able to use some obscure Disney movies as well. When I say more obscure, we're talking about films like The Black Cauldron, The Great Mouse Detective, Robin Hood, The Rescuers, The Aristocats, and Oliver and Company and all that stuff. And I also suggested them to include Frame Roger Rabbit. Though when I sent out a lot of suggestions based on what Square Enix should do for Kingdom Hearts 3, whether you guys believe it or not, they actually listened to what I said for the most part. They also, not only did they listen to me about how that they should include Jane into Kingdom Hearts, but also that they should, how can I put this right? As if Mushu dare return in a Kingdom Hearts game, they should bring back Eddie Murphy to reprise his role as Mushu. And I know what some of you are gonna tell me that, yeah, I know what some of you are probably gonna tell me. Oh, how can Eddie Murphy reprise his role as Mushu? He's usually too good for direct-to-video sequels or video games or TV shows or any of that stuff. Well, look, people. The reason why Eddie Murphy never got to reprise his roles as Mushu, it's not because he's good for doing sequels to his movies, nor is it because he's too good for video games, nor is it because he's too good for TV shows either. It's just the fact, well, during that time period, Eddie Murphy was still working on the Shrek movies. Like, for example, the only reason why Eddie Murphy did not reprise his role as Mushu in Mulan 2 is due to the fact that he was still working on Shrek 2. And Mark Moseley, who would do the voice of Mushu in a lot of his later appearances, including the Kingdom Hearts games from the 2000s, The House of Mouse, and of course in Mulan 2, Mark Moseley would also do the voice of Donkey in all the Shrek video games, actually. Plus, we've already seen Eddie Murphy reprise his role in all the Shrek sequels, as well as in Shrek 40, as well as in all the TV specials, with the exception of Thrill Night and Scared Shrekless. In those two, he would be voiced by Dean Edwards, whom I gotta say he does a really great job with Donkey, I will say. Now, in case you guys are wondering what I think about Mark Moseley as voicing Mushu and Donkey, I will say this, people, that I will admit he doesn't do a bad job as those two characters. I prefer Eddie Murphy hands down. The same way of how many Garfield fans would prefer Lorenzo Music voicing Garfield over Frank Welker and Bill Murray. So anyways, there was this one event that I did try to go to yesterday, which I sadly couldn't. Not just because due to the fact that I could not purchase tickets for yesterday, as it does sold out quickly, but also, plus I've had a bar mitzvah that I had to attend to, and that event will be, of course, regarding to Disney Infinity. Now, in case you guys haven't noticed, they announced a new Marvel figure, particularly with Captain America in his first Avenger form. You know, like in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. How do I feel about it? Well, let's just say that the classic version of Captain America will be good enough. The same with all the other Marvel characters like Spider-Man, Hulk, Thor, Iron Man. The classic versions for all those characters are good enough. Same can also be said about Loki, as well as a lot of the Disney fairy tale characters that sadly did get live-action remakes. And, though I can't wait to see what new announcements Disney has to offer regarding to Star Wars and Disney Infinity 3.0. I'm still hoping that I can still get more and more Star Wars characters from both the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, as there are some great characters from the Star Wars universe they forgot to include that's not The Force Awakens. Excuse me. So anyways, in case if you're wondering what Star Wars characters I've been waiting to see join Disney Infinity, well, Mace Windu, Count Dooku, General Grievous, Jango Fett, Emperor Palpatine, the Inquisitor, and Star Killer. And also, and I bet you're all wondering, why would I want a character that's no longer canon to join Disney Infinity? Well, that's because, well, Star Killer does have a likable personality. Heck, he even appeared in another crossover video game with Soul Calibur 4, which in there he appeared to be in both versions of the game, both PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 alike, which in order for you to be able to unlock him in Soul Calibur 4, you would have to beat arcade mode with either Darth Vader or Yoda. So anyways, now which reminds me, I've got something that I need to address with you Disney Infiniteers on both Facebook and Twitter alike. Now I notice whenever I suggest Disney Interactive publicly to include this one Disney sequel character, we may know her as Jane from Return to Neverland. I noticed some of you keep telling me, oh, Disney sequels are not canon, or oh, Disney, so she's from Disney Studios, and Disney Studios can't be in Disney Infinity. Well, look, people, guess what? I already did ask John Vignacci, the creator of Disney Infinity himself, about whether or not it's possible for characters from Disney Toon Studios to be in Disney Infinity, but then he said sure. Well, from what I heard from John Vignacci, characters from Disney Toon Studios can be in Disney Infinity. Why, you guys may ask? Well, Disney Toon Studios is still owned by Disney. That's why it is. So thus, characters like Jane can be in Disney Infinity, as Disney Toon Studios is still considered Disney. So it's not like as if she's from a company So thus, characters like Jane can be in Disney Infinity. So please stop saying that Disney Toon Studios, Disney sequel characters can't be in Disney Infinity, as Disney Toon Studios is still owned by Disney. So it's not like they're from like Saban or Universal or DreamWorks or Fox or Nickelodeon or Warner Brothers or DC Comics or Aardman, where they would be very unlikely to be in Disney Infinity right now. So yeah, Disney Toon Studios, I can tell you all the fact that it's possible. Plus, we've already seen at least some Disney sequel characters. Though I noticed that a lot of you, whenever I suggest Disney Infinity publicly to include Jane from Return to Neverland, a lot of you people keep telling me that Disney sequels aren't canon. Now, look, people. For a Disney character to be in Disney Infinity, whether or not they would appear to be from a film that's part of the Walt Disney Animated Canon should not matter, as Disney Interactive have already added in some Disney original characters that originated in films that are not a part of the Walt Disney canon. Like, for example, most of the films from Pixar, sure they may not be part of the Walt Disney Animated Canon, but they did, however, at least some characters appear in Disney Infinity. Well, the only Pixar films we did see have characters join Disney Infinity were Toy Story, Monsters Inc., The Incredibles, Cars, Brave, and Inside Out. And heck, in Disney Infinity, not only did we see some Pixar characters join the lineup, all of which are not from films that are part of the Walt Disney Animated Canon, but also we've seen characters from live-action movies join Disney Infinity, as well as this one TV show joined Disney Infinity as well. Though the only two TV characters that showed up in Disney Infinity so far were Phineas and Agent P, aka Perry the Platypus. So, anyways, plus we've already seen some Disney sequel characters join Disney Infinity, consisting of Jessie from Toy Story 2, Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, and also we've also seen both Sam Flynn and Cora from Tron Legacy join Disney Infinity. So I don't know why you guys would go complain and bicker at me and say that characters from Disney films that are not part of the Walt Disney animated canon can't be in Disney Infinity. So, yeah, so to anyone who thinks characters from films that are not part of the Walt Disney animated canon can't be in Disney Infinity, let me say this. Wait. Will you please stop saying that characters that are in films that are not part of the Walt Disney animated canon can't be in Disney Infinity? Whether or not for a Disney character to be in Disney Infinity, whether or not they be part of the Walt Disney animated canon should not matter. Just as long as they're owned by Disney, then they should be in Disney Infinity. Well, that is as long as if they're not using any of the live-action remake characters. So yeah. So anyways, anyone. So for anyone who thinks Disney sequel characters can't be in Disney Infinity, let me say this, people, that please stop saying that Disney sequel characters can't be in Disney Infinity, as whether or not a film appears to be part of the Walt Disney animated canon, that should not matter at all. What should matter more, as long as Disney has rights to the character, then that's what should matter. Just as long as they don't use any characters in the live-action remakes, then I'm cool with it. So anyways, now that my rant to any of the Disney sequel haters has been gotten away, let's move on to another thing that also happened to me at Comic-Con. Let me see, what was I thinking? Oh, right, well, I did also play Lego Avengers, which I gotta say, it was really good from what I played. So I met this one British person who works for Lego, right? And I did suggest him that he should add in Star Wars characters for Lego Dimensions. And he did like my idea so much. Anyways, but then before I left New York Comic Con earlier today, I did suggest Nickelodeon that they should do a Hanukkah special for a Hanukkah episode for not just SpongeBob SquarePants, but also the Fairly Odd Parents as well as a Passover episode for those who seen TV shows, as well as an Easter special. Also, I also suggested them that they should do a crossover between the Fairly Odd Parents and SpongeBob SquarePants, just like what they already did with the Fairly Odd Parents and Jimmy Neutron with the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour. So, is there anything else that I forgot about? Well, I guess, alright, and also, I did meet this one person, this one guy, I forgot his name, who, does the Mad magazines that they should do when Based Off Return to Neverland. He loves my idea so much. So, in case if you animation fans or basically you adults watching this, in case if you animation fans or adults watching this, wondering why would I make someone do more Hanukkah specials or stuff like that, that's because, well, I will say this, people, that although I do disagree with Animat on Sony Pictures Animation in general, I will give Animat this, that he does bring up a really good point, that animation should be treated as an art of medium that everyone can enjoy, and not as a genre that's made stereotypically just for kids. So, yeah, that's all I have to say to you people. Hope you all have a great night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with my October 2015 update vlog.